Hello boys and girls, and welcome back to day 3 of our Read Write Inc. Set 6 Story 3. And can you remember the name of our story? Well done, it was Hairy Fairy. We're going to start the session off by doing partner practice. We don't need to do the partner practice for the speed sounds because you'll have already done a speed sound session before you've started this book. We're going to move straight to the green words. If you have a partner you can practice with at home, that's great. You can pause the video now and start that. If you need to use me as your partner, that's fine. I'm going to point to the words and you're going to say the word. I'll repeat what I think you said. Today will be super speedy because we practiced these words a couple of times before. Mrs. Blair. Whisk. Sack. Nips. Ball. Wand. Now for the multisyllabic words. Frilly. Millionaire. Tinsel. Hairdresser. Despair. Honest. Money. Magic. Father. Christmas. Great. Now for the words with the suffix on the end. Wrapping. Swaps. Fantastic. Now let's turn to page 8, where you will find red words. I'm going to point to the red word. I would like you to say the red word and I'll repeat what I think you said. Remember, today we're going to try and be super speedy because we practiced these red words a few times before. Are we ready? Could. I've. There. They. All. Any. I'm. Ball. To. There. Could. Were. Watch. To. One. Call. Do. What. Said. Well done, that was a great job. Now we've practiced our green and our red words nice and quickly, we're going to play a quick game. It's a game of jump in. I'm going to read the story and when I pause, I want you to jump in with the word I'm going to read next. Are you ready? I set. I am a fairy. I am honest. I've got all the right things, well done. I've got a pink frilly dress, a pair of sparkly and a sack of fairy dust, a pair of gold wings and a magic wand to whisk in the air. But, and it's a big but, I'm hairy, very hairy. Well done, let's turn the page. It's just so. Well, you can have a hairy dog or a hairy gorilla, well done. But a hairy fairy, I don't think. Or I didn't think so until the fairy queen sent me to. Let's begin at the. I started off as a tooth fairy. You know, when a child has lost a tooth, he puts it under his pillow at night. The tooth fairy creeps upstairs, nips into his bedroom and swaps the tooth for. It was a good job that, but the fairy queen said I'd frighten the children, so I got the. Well done. I was a Christmas tree fairy next. I was sent to live with Mr. and Mrs. They got a big Christmas tree and put tinsel and glass balls on the. They put fairy lights on it too. And then they stuck me on the top. But Mrs. Blair said that a hairy fairy looked tall. So that was the end of that. Then the Fairy Queen sent me to the... He looked at me in an odd way. Hadn't he seen a hairy fairy before? But he started to. I sat in that hairdresser's chair all. There was hair on the floor, hair in my, hair on the chair. Things went all right for a week or. But then the hair started to grow back thicker than. The Fairy Queen was in despair. She didn't know what to do with. Then she had a postcard from Father. He lives in the north, as you know. And he couldn't get any fairies to help him with the presents, as most of them can't stand the snow and the... But that's not a problem for a hairy fairy. We hairy fairies don't feel the cold at... I spend my days wrapping presents and FC pays me very well for it. In fact, I'm almost a... Not bad for a hairy. Well done. You were great at jumping there. Now it's time for you to read the book. You can pause this video while you have time to do that. Go back to the beginning and read from page 9. Remember to try and work hard to read with your smooth and fluent reading voice. Pause the video now while you do this. Well done, great job. I'm going to ask you some questions about the book. What are the right things for a fairy to have? You might find the answer to this question on page 9. Pause the video now if you need time to think. Can you shout out your answer? Well done. He needs a pink frilly dress, sparkly boots, fairy dust, gold wings and well done, a magic wand. The next question. Why do you think that the hairy fairy doesn't think fairies can be hairy? Have a think, that's quite a tricky question. You'll find an answer on page 10. Okay, have you got your answer? Well done. He thinks it's very unfair, doesn't it? He's never seen a hairy fairy before. He's seen a hairy dog, a hairy horse and a hairy gorilla, but never a hairy fairy. Why did the Fairy Queen give the hairy fairy the sack? You'll find the answer to this question on page 11. Pause the video now if you need some time to think. Shout out your answer. Well done. It's because the Fairy Queen said, I might frighten the children. Well done. The next question. Why did Mrs. Blair not want the hairy fairy on top of the Christmas tree? You'll find the answer to this question on page 12. Pause the video if you need some time to think. Can you shout out your answer? Well done. Mrs. Blair said that the hairy fairy looked all wrong. Maybe she'd never seen a hairy fairy before. How long after his haircut did the hairy fairy's hair start to grow back? You'll find the answer on page 13. Pause the video if you need some time to think. Can you shout out your answer? Well done. It was after a week or so. It says things went all right for a week or so, but then the hair started to grow back. The next question. Why can't Father Christmas get any fairies to help him with the presents? You'll find the answer to this on page 14. Pause the video now if you need some time to think. Shout out your answer. Well done. It's because most of them can't stand the snow and the frost. Last question. How does the hairy fairy spend his days? Pause the video if you need some time to think. You'll find the answer on page 15. Shout out your answer. Well done. He spends his days wrapping presents. Great answer to those questions. Well done. Now it's time for the last part of our session. This part of the session is called Hold a Sentence. For this part of the session, you will need a pencil and an exercise book or lined paper to write in. We're going to have a go at writing a sentence. I'm going to say the sentence first, then I'd like you to say the sentence after me. But it'll be my turn and your turn. Are we ready? How can I be a good fairy when I'm so hairy? How can I be a good fairy when I'm so hairy? How can I be a good fairy when I'm so hairy? Well done. Let's count the words in this sentence together. How can I be a good fairy when I'm so hairy? That's 11 words we need to write all together. Can you remember the first word? Can you shout it out now? Well done, it was how. Let's have a go at writing that word together. Your turn first. Well done, it should look like this. H. What letter comes next? Great, it's O. And, well done, W. Can you remember the next word? How. Can. Well done. I'd like you to have a go at writing the word can now. Pause the video if you need to. Well done. Can you tell me the sounds in the word can? That's correct. It's C-A-N. Tick or fix your work. The next word was, can you write it? Well done. You should have written I. I looks like this. How can I? Can you remember what the next word was? Well done. Can you write it? The next word was, it was B. Well done. Can you tell me the letter sounds I need? B and E. How can I be? What was the next word? Well done. Write it quickly. Well done. It was A. Remember to tick or fix your work as we go along. How can I be a? What was the next word? Well done. Can you write it? Great. It was good. Can you tell me the letter sounds you think I need? G, O, O, D. How can I be a good? What comes next? Well done. Can you write it? Great. The word was fairy. Well done. Can you tell me the letter sounds I need? That's F, A, I, R, Y. How can I be a good fairy? Can you remember the second part of the sentence? It was when I'm so hairy. When I'm so hairy. Great. Can you pause the video now and write those words so that you've completed your sentence? Be sure to remember what you think you need at the end of the sentence. Do you think it'll be a full stop or maybe it's a question mark? Have a think. Pause the video now. Good, well done, you worked hard. Let's finish my sentence off and tick off you fix your work as we go. How can I be a good fairy? The next word was? When is W? You tell me the letter sounds. H, E, N. How can I be a good fairy when? Well done, it was I, one word on its own. Next word. Am. A and M. Well done. When I am, well done, it was so, which is S and O. And our last word was, great, it was hairy. Can you tell me the letter sounds? H, A, I, R, Y. Now remember, I said you need something at the end of your sentence. Would it be a full stop or a question mark? Let's have a think. How can I be a good fairy when I am so hairy? Is it asking a question? It is. Well done. It needs a question mark. Well done. You've worked hard in today's session. Now you've completed the last task for the book, Hairy Fairy, Set 6, Story 3. Well done, boys and girls. See you again soon.